Hi there, it's Carol with Carolbcrafts. Today we'll be making this adorable little gift box. It's made with the window box Thinlits, and I'll be showing you those in a minute. But it opens up here, and on the inside it says "For You." And this would be a darling little gift box for a small item or a special treat. And it has some of the Botanical Butterflies DSP. That's a celebration item right now. And so let me show you what you'll need to make this adorable little gift box. We'll be using the Beauty Abounds bundle. It has the Beauty Abounds stamp and the beautiful butterfly Thinlits dies, and these are gorgeous dies. Very versatile. Even though this is all one piece, you can cut them up into smaller pieces, just as I did with this butterfly, and that makes them even more awesome. Now you'll also need the Layering Circles Framelits dies and the Stitched Shapes Framelits dies from your stash. And if you have the kit, you won't need this because your kit will have the pre-cut very vanilla thick cardstock that I used to make this the base for the gift box. But this is what the window box Thinlits look like, and this is used to make that decorative top, and then you use this to make the box. You actually cut two of these out, and if you do it the way I did it, you can get this box out of one sheet of 8.5 by 11 cardstock. Now if you see anything in this video that you would like to purchase from Stampin' Up, check out my website www.carolbcrafts.com and get the current host code. Click the Shop Now button and use that host code when you purchase, and you can get a 15% of your retail purchase either in free product from me, or you can get it discount your next club kit from me. Now the ink that I'll use to stamp the inside is going to be Gorgeous Grape, but you can use whatever ink you might have. The adhesives that I'll be using are the multi-purpose glue, the mini glue dots, and regular snail. The tools I'll be using my Stamparatus, my piercing tool, my scissors, and my Big Shot. You'll need a piece of Whisper White 4 by 3 1/4, a piece of Daffodil Delight 4 by 4 inches, 2 pieces of Highland Heather 3.5 by 3.5 and 2.5 by 2.5, 1 piece of Gorgeous Grape 2.5 by 2.5. You'll need a strip of DSP 12 inches by 1 3/4 inches wide. Now if you have the kit, you'll have your 2 pieces of the pre-cut die cut thick with very vanilla, and I have embossed, well actually I've cut out that decorative part for the top. So these are the parts to our box. I have a 7-inch piece of the Pineapple Punch gross grain ribbon, 1/8 inch, and then the frosted droplets, epoxy droplets. I have a large one and one small one. So I'd like to go ahead and start with our stamping, and I have this large bubble stamp, and then I have the For You stamp, and that's for the inside. So we'll be stamping on our piece of 4 by 3 1/4 inch Whisper White in the center. So I'll go ahead and put the For You in the center and pick that up. We'll be using Gorgeous Grape ink. So now I'm going to use the bubble stamp, and it's kind of, the bigger bubble is going to be kind of over the 4 and the For You. But I don't want that to stamp full strength, so I'm going to put a piece of scratch paper over my image. I just kind of want a faint image of bubbles in the background. So I'll ink that up, I'm going to stamp it once and then twice, and then the last one I will stamp on my actual, and that gives me the really light color that I want. Okay, we're going to do some die cutting now. We have the second largest stitched circle from the Stitched Shapes Framelits, and we're going to just center that and tape that in place. We have the second largest circle die, and we're going to use our Highland Heather for that. Our I think that's a 4x4 or 3.5 by 3.5, and then our 4x4 Daffodil Delight. We have the largest scalloped circle in the Layering Circles Framelits. So I'll run all of these through my Big Shot. Okay, so I have those die cuts. Now I'm ready to do my little butterfly die cuts, and I'll bring those in. Now the darker, the Grapefruit Grove, is going to be on top. So the dies are a little bit different. These are it has more of an outline to it. We are going to die cut just this one butterfly down here in the Gorgeous Grape, and then we're going to cut the matching corresponding butterfly in Highland Heather, and we'll run those through the Big Shot. Now I'm going to go back and forth 2 or 3 times to make sure I get a good cut on these. And I'll use my die brush, but I'll need to remove my tape first. Okay, I have that one done. Now I'll remove the Highland Heather one. I'm going to trim these because they are connected, but it's very easy to just kind of follow around and just try to match the other side. So you can just kind of see around that off just a little bit. And then same thing for this one. So now I have my 2 butterflies. Now we have our die cuts, and normally you would find your valley and fold towards you, fold away from you, but with these we're going to find our valley and fold towards us. And the reason is I found that if you do that, you have less cracking. I guess because this is a thicker cardstock, you might have cracking, and so that might be what it is, but that's just what I want you to do, is find your valley and fold towards you instead of away. So we have some tabs here. Now this is the bottom. So one of the things we need to do right now is these side tabs on the bottom. We want to cut those off. We don't need those. So we'll cut those side tabs off right along the line that's there that's been, your scoring line, and then that will make it easier for us to join these two together. So I'm going to go ahead and find the rest of my folds. Find your fold, and some of them you might want to crease, like these smaller ones. Definitely want to crease those. The larger ones maybe not so much because you don't want them to crack, but the smaller ones we can definitely do that with. So that's our bottom right there. Now we'll do the top. Again, find your valleys and fold towards you. And if you do crease them gently. And then these we will not cut any of the tabs off the top part. And you know it's the top because it has the decorative circle in the center there. So I'm just finding that and folding along that score line, and then I'm just creasing it with my bone folder. So this is the top. Now these kind of go together opposite, like you would think they go in the same direction, but they actually go together like this. So we're going to go ahead and use some glue to put these together. I'm going to go ahead and crease these again really good. Looks like I missed a fold here at the top there. So the top fold, this is not going to be glued, and then these are going to be at the top. These will not be glued either. So the ones that are at the top are not going to be glued. Now I found that it's the easiest way to do this is to kind of just walk your way around it. So now I have, I'm going to go ahead and open these up like this. So you can see the side that I've trimmed. That's going to go right here on top of that. So I'll go ahead and put some snail, drops of snail. Now you probably could use something else. Not snail, glue, multi-purpose glue. So I'm going to match up my corners, hold that in place, and when it feels like it's a little dry, I'm going to just bend it over just to make sure that everything is going to line up straight, because you want these to be straight here when you bring it around. So you might have to adjust it a little bit, because you want that to be even. So next we're going to, remember, we don't want to do any of these on the top. We don't want to glue any of these here near this, these two and this. So the next thing we want to do is, I'm guessing we want to glue, as I'm folding it around, this is the next thing that's going to need to be adhered. So I'm going to put some glue here along this one, just a strip, not too much. Okay, and then I'm just going to walk it around and match it up here on the bottom. Hold it in place. You might get your fingers a little gluey. Just try not to get your box gluey. Okay, we'll hold that in place. I'm going to clean off my fingers while that's drying. It's important to keep your fingers clean. Okay, so that's in place. It's a nice smooth edge here where the box meets. If you get glue on the outside, wait till the glue is good and dry, and then you can just take a pencil, clean pencil, and it will just erase right off. But you have to wait till it's good and dry, not while it's still wet. Okay, so as I'm moving my box along, I can see that this is the next flap here that is going to connect. So I'm going to put some dots of glue on it, and I'm going to push it up against my box bottom. Hold it in place so that it is a nice smooth edge. Give it time to dry. Clean my hands off again. And then as we're turning the box around, we can see that this is the next flap to get some glue. This is getting a little tricky now because we're getting a smaller space to work in. So I've got my glue there, and I'm going to bring it around and meet it up to the edge. To go in from the inside and push it too to hold it in place. And the neater your edges are, the nicer your box is going to look. And I can see I'm getting glue, but I'm not worried about it because I can come by later when it's dry and clean it off with my eraser. So no worries there. Mostly just want to make sure that it has a nice smooth and they meet up nice and even. Okay, and then I can see that this is the next tab. So I'll put some glue here, and that's going to go inside here, and I'll hold that in place till it is dry. And now we have actually two more right here. You can see these two. I'm actually going to tuck that one underneath, and I'll put glue here and here, and I'm going to put a little bit underneath there where that corner is, and I'll put this down and hold it in place. Meet them up nice and neat so they match. Hold it in place while it dries. Okay, I'm going to let that dry, and I'm going to clean off my hands. So when I feel like this is good and dry, and then I can put a little pressure on it. I'm not going to worry about the glue until I'm finished covering it up, because I might cover up quite a bit of that glue that is in the way. So I'm going to find the back, and I'm going to just start going around. So I'll put some glue here along the edge, the sides, and kind of in the center near this edge as well. And we want it to meet this corner here, this edge right here. You want it to meet perfectly, and then you want to bring it around. Make sure you put kind of a curve in it, a little bit of a bend, but not, not a creased bend. Just pinch it with your fingers. It's important that you make sure that your distance remains the same all the way around. You don't want it to climb up, so I'm going to bring this down a little bit. Okay, now I'm ready to go ahead and put some more glue. I'm going to put some here all along the edges and in the center. I'm going to bring this around. I might have put a little bit too much. That's okay. If it oozes out, I can always clean it off later. So I'm making sure that it stays the same distance from the edges so that it doesn't start to climb up. Okay, so now we're ready to move on. Pull this back a little bit and reveal some more of my box. Put my X and then some in the center there, and bring it around. Press it down, hold it in place. Put a little bit of a pinch there where that is. holding it in place. Okay, now I'm going to just continue all the way around. Okay, we're making progress. We're making it all the way around here. Just have to make sure we give it plenty of time to dry. Alright, so I'm going to pull this back, put some here on the crease and around the corners. Hold it in place. Trying to creep up on me just a little bit. Okay, and now we're around the edge. We've made it all the way around. I'm going to pinch that a little bit. So before I go ahead and going to mark this where it needs to be cut. And I'll find my marks and get my scissors. I'm going to cut from mark to mark, and then that way I will have a nice edge there where it meets. So I'll go ahead and put some more glue here on the corner part and then around, and definitely want some there where it's going to be sealed. And we'll just hold that in place, let it dry. And we have our decorated box. Now if you see that there's some place that maybe it's not glued together really well, you could always try to fit a glue dot in there maybe, so that it sticks. Okay, so that's our paper. I'm gonna wash my hands again. So now, put my glue away for now, and we're going to do the inside. So we need our sentiment. I'll just go ahead and glue that in. It's going to go on the Highland Heather circle, and then that's going to go on the Daffodil Delight scallop circle, and then this is going to go on the inside. And I can see I forgot to fold these two sides in. That's okay, I can do that now. Just have to be careful not to damage my box when I do it. So there's those two folds. Okay, so that's how it's going to go. And I'm going to put this in place, and you can kind of see that it is going to cover up it's going to line our decorative part of our box. So you'll see that on the inside of your box there are places where there's big spots, kind of like areas that would lend themselves to some glue. I don't want to get too far away from the edges, but there's plenty of them on the inside here that you could use to put dots of glue. And you don't have to use a lot because this glue's pretty sticky. And if you do go outside, don't worry, you can use your pencil eraser and erase it. Okay, so I'm just going to lay this on top, kind of upside down for now, and put it in place. I don't want it to go below my fold down here. I don't want it to interfere with my fold. And now before it dries, I'm going to turn it around and make sure that the for you is level, goes straight across, and it does, thank goodness. Okay, and then so that's that part. Again, I have to clean the glue off. So that part of our box is finished. Now we need to finish the top. Let me get this in here. Okay, so that's our box. Now we're going to do the top, and we're going to take our ribbon and just make a loop, like take it and make a loop like that. And so we kind of want that loop. I'm going to find the front. This is the front facing me. So I want the ribbon to kind of go like this. So I'll put a glue dot here in the center, and it's not hard to find the center. So I'll put a glue dot in the center, maybe a couple. Where are you? Side by side. And if you might want to just do this, which is probably better, just to take it off and put it on with your piercing tool. Okay, so get my front again, and I'm just going to make my loop so that it's like this, and where my loop, make it a little bit bigger because I want it to be seen. So that's a good size there. So I'm going to put it, whoops, be careful not to push too hard. All right, come on. You don't want to push too hard. So maybe I'll just do it this way. So I have my loop. Now I'm going to put another glue dot there in the center where I put the last one, and that's going to hold my loop in place. And there's my loop. And it's sticky, but that's okay because I'm going to put my butterflies over it. So my dark Gorgeous Grape butterfly, there's a spot right here in the middle. I'm going to put a glue dot there, right in the middle of its belly. I'm going to twist it off. And before I do that though, I almost forgot. I need to cut off the antenna of the bottom butterfly like that, and then match it up with the darker purple one on top. And come on, you can do it. If you need to redo, don't pull, remember, twist. And it's a little tricky, but not impossible. Okay, so now we have our butterfly, and we're going to put that on with a couple of glue dots in the center, 1 and 2, and that's just going to go kind of not the same direction as your bow, but kind of off like that. And I'm going to fluff it up. And I'm going to go ahead and trim these ends, make them a little neater, straight across, like that. Now the only thing we have left to do is to put on our, clean my mess up, our frosted epoxy droplets. There's a big one. It's going to go here, right behind the head. And then there's a smaller one. It's going to go right behind that big one. And that's just going to make it look like a jewel. So now we have our little gift box for you. And if you want to check it for glue, like I said, you just need to get your pencil and you can erase it, and that will take care of your glue problem. Alright, that's our box. Our beautiful little gift box. So those window box framelits are really awesome. I love them. Okay, so this is project number 4 in my Beauty Abounds February Club Kit. Check out my website www.carolbcrafts.com to get the current host code to purchase anything that you see, and then my other website www.cutstampcreateclub.com to see my current club offerings. Thanks for watching. Bye now.